Hi, and welcome to XR for Work. This is the show where we explore the immersive, virtual, mixed and augmented platforms designed for business and professional use. My name is Rick, and I'm your host here at XR for Work. As I'd mentioned in my last episode, I'd found myself more and more recently checking App Lab for new titles that may not have hit the store yet or even the radar screen. Well, we have a new meeting and collaboration platform that wasn't on my radar until just this month, and that's the VR Office. VR Office just hit App Lab and is available for you to download and check out. And to give you a start on what you'll experience, we're going to get a tour of the platform by the principals of VR Office. Joe, Anders, and Steve reached out to me and offered a tour of their platform and an overview of their tool set. So today, I'm going to share some clips from that tour and give you an overview of VR Office. Please don't forget to follow us here on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Check out our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter, and we'll give you more information on that at the end of the episode. And so with that, let's get started. And so VR Office, as you can see on the loop running on in front of you, is a meeting and collaboration platform. And it's got a little bit of a twist that we'll talk about during today's episode, where they have a real strength in bridging the virtual with the augmented, and being able to share assets between platforms. So let's jump in and take a look. So VR Office is a meeting and collab platform. It's available on Oculus via App Lab. It accommodates up to 16 users. They have 3 spaces available right now: the meeting room, the auditorium, and the social area rooftop bar. And we'll take a look at all 3 of these during the show today. There is a tablet UI that, if you've used meeting and collab spaces, you're very used to seeing. And then they have a application called Holopipe that is this file management system in the cloud that, again, bridges all your content as a content management system between VR Office and the Holopipe app on your phone, or Holopipe in the cloud on your desktop and Mac. And then on the right, you can see, as we're flipping through the various applications that you have available to you, we'll touch on each of these briefly. And so you have your 3D pen, again, something very familiar, custom avatars. Now, we'll see the avatars here in a moment, sticky notes and signs. The meeting sessions are persistent, so your content stays in the meeting room. Of course, you have your camera, file navigation. Again, this is a big part of VR Office, a web browser that you can share to the screens in the room, and a notepad. And we're going to take a look at all of these. So when you first come into VR Office, you land in the lobby, and that's where we're going to start our tour. And I'm here with Anders and Joe and Steve. We've landed here, and a couple of things you can recognize right away is that the 3D content and the logo that you see there, the branding in the lobby, is all customizable things that, from your particular perspective, business or organization, you can customize. Even outside the windows there with the woodland scene is something that you're able to customize on the fly on your tablet at any given moment. Now, I'm going to pause here just a second. And let me go back a second. Let's go back here. And I wanted to stop at this door that's actually behind me, because you can see that we have the meeting, the auditorium, the space bar. We kind of can see clearly from where we're standing, there are those 3 spaces that we can attend to. But it was called to my attention that right behind me is another door. and they were very cagey about what is planned for that door. But you might imagine that there's going to be more meeting areas and other things that you're going to be able to take advantage of here. And as with a lot of these platforms, they're constantly iterating and developing. But they especially wanted to call that door out to me as something that I would see coming soon. And they're giving me kind of a brief explanation of the use of the tablet and moving around in the space. You do teleport using the controllers. This is an Oculus only app, so once you get the controller scheme down, moving around is very, very easy. And we're going to grab our tablet that we can carry along with us, or that we can initiate through the uh, watch uh, on our left wrist. I can point to that, point to the house icon, and that's going to bring up my tablet at any point. And then the other icon there available to me is mute. Obviously, if you're in a meeting, mute can become very special or very handy. And so, really, to go into any specific meeting room, you're going to teleport forward, and using right controller, you kind of see where you're going to land, and you just walk through the door, and we're going to go into the meeting room. And you'll see the little animation for that portal action, and boom, you land in the room. And very spacious, very comfortable, very pleasant space. And again, this outside area is all customizable. You can decide what kind of view you want to have. Here we have the woodlands, but it could be a cityscape, or be out in outer space or up in the clouds. And again, all the content, the graphics, the 3D content in the room can be customized to make that all your own. And then you have your app that's in front of you, your tablet that you're able to pull up to get to all your what they call apps. And we'll talk more about this tablet as we go along. You have the presentation screen up in the front of the room, and then a very large whiteboard prominent there behind Anders. And we're going to see Joe kind of jump up to that board in just a minute. And it has one of the features that I really, really have come to appreciate being added in these spaces, which are templates. Right? Typically, getting started with a whiteboard with a blank canvas, sometimes your mind can blank. And having these templates available are very, very useful. And they have kind of the conventions you're used to seeing. They have again the sticky notes that you're seeing Joe use and put up on the board now, the 3D pen, and then along with the templates is a good platform for having discussions and doing planning. They have 4 templates available now, and Anders is quick to remark that they've got many, many more on the drawing board to be able to be brought in. And so he'll be bringing up his tablet in a moment and showing that when you're, the team lead in the room or the administrator in the room, you can display anything from your tablet up on the screen at the front of the room. So we can clearly see that here. And then from here, if he brings up a specific application, a specific web page or browser, that's immediately shareable to everybody in the room. Okay. And then we are going to leave the meeting area, and we'll go out into the hallway. And we're going to go into the auditorium next. And so you exit the same way you enter, you go into the lobby, and you pick your next location. In this case, we're going into the auditorium. And then again, you can see a very spacious, very austere auditorium. I really liked it. It was very clear that you have the individual cushions for seats. You have this tiered viewing area and a very, very large board and screen down in front with the podium. And, it was a matter of kind of clicking on the spot in the center of the cushion to get seated. and we're ready to go. And Joe and Steve are kind of demonstrating that they have the emojis for reactions during a particular presentation or talk. And then again, outside the back windows, not that it's very prominent in this area, you can again change the outdoor scenery to fit your needs for this particular room, depending on what you're doing. And once I get seated, uh, you can see that up in the front of the room in just a minute, um, Anders will bring up his web browser. And from the web browser, it's very easy to access Microsoft 365, Google Docs, or any of that web content that you might then want to display or share here in the auditorium room. And then there's some additional controls that the administrator has here for the audience. And so let's move forward here a little bit and get to that content. And you can see now I'm going to pause here a second. This was kind of a very unique feature. And we've all been there when we've been in VR meetings where the resolution just gets very tough to see. And, the smaller text up on the, even on this large board can be hard to discern if you're sitting maybe in the back or further back in the room through the resolution on the VR headsets. But they've put this application on the tablet called Telescope. So you can put your tablet up in front of you and then focus it on the front. And then look, you can kind of zoom in to that content. I'm going to do that again real quick. And again, the tablet works from this concept of applications very much like a smartphone. So you pick a specific application, whether that's Notepad, or in this case, I'll select Telescope, and then that particular app is available to you on the tablet. Now, what they have open, open tablet, or install. And install doesn't mean install to the tablet. It means install a shortcut on the home screen of the tablet. And so they're looking to change maybe that term so it becomes clear. But I pull up the Telescope, and then I have a slider, and I can kind of zoom right in on that content, which is very, very helpful, again, until we get to the point where VR resolution kind of matches what our eyes need to be able to help us at distance for even some of the content on these large screens. And so from here, you've had your meeting, you've done your presentation in the auditorium, and so we're going to leave this room, and now we're going to go into the social area or the bar lounge. And again, we're going to exit the door through the portal concept, and we'll walk out, and we'll go back into the lobby, and you'll get to see what the social area looks like. This was all very, and maybe it's time to kind of pause and talk a little bit about the avatar system that they have here. As you can see, it's a custom avatar system, and we're going to be entering the bar. And you can see there's an avatar greeter here in the corner, and it's this very open concept rooftop area at night, with the galaxy imagery kind of all around, and these small fire pits for little discussion areas. Very, very cool. But just a moment about the avatars. They have their own custom avatar system. So it's not the Ready Player Me or the Oculus avatars. And they do this very purposefully, again, to keep the poly count down, which is always a challenge for developers in VR and in this platform, and things that they can control. You can customize it to be a likeness like you, but it's not going to be photorealistic, animation rich avatar experience, but very, very serviceable. I had no problem at all with the avatars. You do get the mouth movement. You do have hands. So you can see the gesturing going on, and the spatial audio helps you understand who's speaking from which direction. And then, of course, you get the visual cue of the mouth movement. So all in all, a very very nice experience. And then here on the rooftop, we were having a discussion about having some social activities and games. And the group had already worked on a chess board that they were putting in the area, as well as some other ideas for some social activities and games for people to enjoy while they're in this space, kind of debriefing or brainstorming or just meeting and hanging out and having a good time. So really enjoyed this time with the guys from VR Office. One of the really unique things about the VR Office is its content management system called Holopipe. This was a genesis of VR Office and an application that they started with. And we're going to hear from Anders and Joe now as they explain to us about what Holopipe is and how it works with the VR Office.
Yeah, so we have an app called Holopipe right now, which is an AR app, and it's a place you can upload content. And the difference about it is that you can upload any content in 3D. So the point of it is you can upload regular 3D models, you can upload PDFs, images, videos, audio, wherever you like. Yeah, so here we have a chair. And this is you can use it as a user yourself, and the login system you used when you logged in and you logged into the correct organization that runs on the Holopipe servers. So you'll have the same organization in Holopipe. Yeah. So install here.
Little explanation
install
about
just
the
means
install
add to home
button
screen.
that I mentioned earlier.
We're looking for the right word. It should be more like bookmark. Yep. And we're still working on completing that and bringing it up to speed with the mobile app. The mobile app has been out for almost a year. So we have some pre-made items and we have some online and Holopipe items. It's still in beta, so we're not 100% complete with that, but there will be a big update this week for it, and we will be similar to the AR application, and that will be. No, that's what we made before this. So that's kind of the. Not yet, but in a couple of weeks you will be able to upload anything. You could upload them as images right now, but you can upload it's video, audio, 3D models, and text files. You can upload right now, and we're doing a huge overhaul of that. Yeah, so we started with this augmented reality app, the Holopipe. So this 3D model, I can see it and share it here in VR, but I can also take it on my smartphone and place it as an AR object into reality. So it's one account, one place to upload the content and then share it to each other. So yeah, and that makes it way easier to do stuff with them. And the Holopipe app will function basically like the inventory of all of these applications. So it was always the plan to kind of make that as the content management platform.
Okay. And so that gives you an understanding and the explanation about the importance of file management here in VR Office and how they help accommodate and bridge the in real life or mixed reality platform that you might be using down to your mobile phone with the VR Office concept and bringing that same content back and forth between in real life and VR. Right now, accommodating video, audio, 3D models, PDFs, text files. They plan to be able to have you share all the content, so everything on this board that you have in an office right there on your phone at the same time. Now, I would find this extremely valuable because obviously our lives don't exist wholly within the metaverse at this point, and we need to be able to access some of this information or even contribute into the room from outside of VR. So yeah, I think this is a great secret sauce to have, and something that I think most professional and business users would find very, very useful. And then we have pricing at $16 a month per user. And again, contact VR Office, and I'm sure they will help you customize and accommodate to the size of the team that you have at any given point. As I had mentioned earlier, you can easily get up to 16 users in a single instance. And they talked about being able to scale upwards to 100. So if you have these very large scale needs, then again, please reach out to them and you can kind of talk and discuss your particular needs and negotiate. Okay. Well, that's it for today's show. We want to thank you for joining us as always. If you have any questions, email me at rick@xrforwork.com. Please do a search on Facebook and look to join our XR for Work group there. Follow us on Twitter, XR for Work, and then stop over and say hi on LinkedIn. Rick Castile, Nicholas Johansson, Tom Soderlin, who make up XR for Work. So thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye now.